Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to our Student Town Hall for Fall 2021. My name is Christy Heaton and I serve as the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Transitions and Family Engagement. That's a mouthful, I know. And I will be serving as one of your co-hosts today. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kim, my fellow co-host, who will tell you who he is, and then we'll get this party started.
Thank you, Dr. Heaton. Welcome, Lynx community. It's so good to see everyone. My name is Sam Kim. I serve as your Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Community, and I will be helping Dr. Heaton as one of your other co-hosts as we get through today's session. And so it's so good to see everyone. Please make sure you take the opportunity to ask us good questions. We are here to help you in terms of any questions that you have, knowing that the start of this school year wasn't the typical school year that most people expected. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and meet our panelists for today. They will each share who they are and what they do on campus. Then we will kick it off with some common COVID-19 questions that we've been receiving so far. And so panelists, please introduce yourselves. I think the first person is Chris Puckett.
Hi, Chris Puckett. By day, I'm an attorney, but have been doing all things COVID for the last 18 months. And I thank you for your the opportunity to be here and talk to you.
Thank you, Chris. I believe the next person is Lacey.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lacey Clint, and I'm the COVID-19 case manager for CU Denver. I'm also a CU Denver graduate, and I'm glad to meet you all.
Thank you, Lacey. Lindsay is next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay Hamilton. I'm the director of our Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. I'm also a faculty member in the psychology department, so you might see me in class.
Thank you, Lindsay. Emily.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Wagner, and I'm the first year experience associate director, and I also teach a few of our FYE courses, so you may also see me in class.
Thank you, Emily. Jamie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie, and I am your assistant director for student engagement, and I work with our student government and all of our campus events and activities.
Thank you, Jamie. Gregory.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory Gibson. I'm the Senior Director for Building Maintenance and Operations, and my super capable team and I are responsible for making sure that the buildings and building systems function to the optimum ability for your best student learning experience.
Thank you, Gregory. And last but not least, our student body president, Chris Hilton.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Hilton. I'm an undergrad student in our public health program, and I'm the student body president this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much, panelists. For folks that are joining us today, just a couple reminders. So you just met our front-facing panelists. We also have some staff and faculty with us today that are a little bit behind the scenes. And so at around 3:30-ish today, we will open the Q&A. So if you have questions, you can post them there. And then the folks that are behind the scenes will be responding to your questions in the Q&A as well. So if you're able to hold on to those questions till about 3:30, we'd really appreciate it. So with that said, our first question is for Chris Puckett. And so Chris, if you could share some of the new updates around COVID policies and just in general, how we're doing as a campus.
Great, thanks. I think where we are as a campus is about as good as we could be, frankly, given the world circumstances. As a reminder, we have a mandatory mask requirement. We also have a mandatory vaccine requirement. So because of both of those things, we're actually doing the things that we know that work with COVID, masking and vaccination. So right now, we did update our website today. Our vaccination rate among students is about 93%, which is fantastic, actually, and above 97% for employees. So we're actually in a really great spot when it comes to vaccinations. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you or try and convince you or encourage you to get vaccinated, because that's the one thing we do know about this, that vaccinations keep people alive and they keep people from getting sick. So absolutely get your vaccine if you haven't done that. And wear your mask. I think what we've seen across campus, and we do get emails about this occasionally, about places where people aren't wearing masks, but by and large, I think people are wearing masks. I think we found with our students and our faculty and our staff that in most places, people are wearing masks really well. So I think it's been a great start for the semester. We only have a handful of cases right now. I think 16, Lacey, something in that order, maybe closer to 20 right now. So we really haven't had a lot of cases on campus that have campus contact, which is a good thing. We're also not seeing campus spread in class or COVID spread in classrooms. What does that mean? So last year and this year, we haven't seen situations where students in a class who are masked spread, or faculty or staff spread COVID, right? We just haven't seen that. Where we have seen cases are when people ride in the car together, people go to the bar together, people go to Denny's at midnight together, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things, but those things are a little, you may not have your mask on the whole time. So all that to be said, and our activities on campus, we actually feel really good about kind of the way things are going. Now, obviously I'd encourage you to wear your mask in other places too, but that's kind of where we are. If you are unvaccinated, what we do require is that you get tested every week. And we have 8 locations in the metro area, 1 on campus. If you haven't been there, 5th Street Garage, it's great. So if you're unvaccinated, get over there and make sure you're getting tested every week. I also encourage anybody and everybody to get tested every week anyway, frankly. That's what I've started myself, just to make sure we're good. And I know kind of what my baseline is. I know I'm doing what I need to. I get in a good habit. It's free, it's easy. So I absolutely ask you and encourage you to do that either on campus or out in the community, and we can give you the links to all those places as well. If you're unvaccinated, you do have to wear your mask everywhere on campus, no exceptions. Okay. Sometimes we see questions about that, but you know, really, we do know is masking works, and so we're going to ask people who are unvaccinated to wear them all the time on campus. So thanks very much. Back to you, Christy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Lacey, as a follow-up, can you discuss some of the protocols around contact tracing, self-reporting, and quarantine? And then in addition to that, sorry, Lacey, this is kind of a two-parter, an extended two-parter. If a student is notified that they may have been exposed but are not sure by whom, what's the process that they should be doing as well?
Yeah, happy to talk about that. So for those of you who maybe weren't on campus last year, or this is your first year on campus, we have a contact tracing team. And what that team does is we look at cases or symptoms. And basically what you need to do to start that process is if you're feeling sick or you've been diagnosed with COVID, or you've had an exposure to someone who is positive for COVID-19, then you need to fill out this self-report form, and we can get you the link to that on our coronavirus website. Once you fill out that self-report form, you're going to talk to our contact tracing team, and they're going to walk you through the steps of, do you need to quarantine, or do you need to isolate, or are you clear to go back on campus? And so our team will walk you through every step from the very beginning to the very end when you're clear to come back to campus. And we do help notify your professors, or if you have a supervisor on campus, we can help notify them as well that you are not able to be on campus. But we do keep your information confidential. On the other side of that, as Christy was asking about exposure notifications, let's say you are in a class or in an event where someone from that class or event reports that they're positive for COVID-19. We're going to talk to that person through our contact tracing team and process. We're going to gather as much details as we can, and then we do a risk analysis, and we find out who we need to reach out to, and we let them know that they've been exposed, quote unquote, to COVID-19. And so if you are exposed or you do get one of those notifications, again, you go back and you self-report using the link on our website. And we walk through the steps that you need to do or take as an exposed individual. One good thing about being vaccinated is that if you do happen to be exposed to someone who has COVID-19 and you're not experiencing symptoms, you're just exposed and you haven't tested positive recently, then once you fill out that self-report form, you're going to be automatically cleared to go back to class and go back to campus and go to the wellness center and the rock wall and all of that fun stuff. So there's very little or no lag time if you're exposed and not symptomatic, if you are vaccinated. Unfortunately, if you are unvaccinated and exposed, then you will be asked to quarantine for 14 days. So that's a huge difference if you're on the fence about getting vaccinated or not. There's just less risk, and that's the risk analysis that we've taken on campus to keep the campus safe. So hopefully that helps answer that question, Christy.
Thanks so much, Lacey. And the students that are on the Zoom call right now, if you notice, we are uploading links in our chat function. And so as we're going through some of the topics and maybe we're breezing through it too quickly, you could either ask us a question towards the end or visit the links after this webinar to do some of your own research on these different topics. So the next question is around course formats and delivery. And so we're going to turn it over to Dr. Lindsay Hamilton. Lindsay, can you comment on any updates around course delivery? And then we have also received a couple of questions about hybrid formats. And so if you could please clarify what hybrid courses entail, I think that would be helpful for our students.
Absolutely, happy to. So we have 4 course formats here at CU Denver. We have in-person, remote, hybrid, and online. And we have had those formats for a long time. So we are pretty familiar with doing all the different formats. About the majority of our courses are being offered in person or hybrid format this semester. So there's lots of opportunities for students to be in person and taking the classes in our classrooms with our faculty. As far as hybrid courses go, they look very different depending on the course. The big thing is they are a mix of pre-scheduled on-campus meetings with flexible scheduled online learning opportunities. So a hybrid course could have anywhere from 20 to 80% of the instruction time be synchronous in person, meaning it's a scheduled time period every Monday at 9:30 a.m. on campus in a particular building. However, all hybrid courses should have the times and dates of all scheduled in-person meetings already available to you. That should be in the schedule. So students should be able to see that there. And then the remainder of the course, depending on how the faculty member has set it up, will be done either through Zoom or perhaps just online with no synchronous in-person meeting portions. If you have confusion about any sort of hybrid course, you should first check in with your faculty member. And then if it's still a little confusing, your advisor might be the next best person to go to and say, does this seem right? Am I doing it correctly? Am I meeting all my requirements?
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. Okay, Emily, you've got our next question. It's coming to you. Can you talk a little bit more about first-year programming and experiences? Speak to the opportunities available for first-year students. And then also, you know, FYE and some other great units are housed in our newest building on campus, the Learning Commons. Can you also talk a little bit about that, where it's located and other services that students can find in that space?
Yeah, happy to. So again, Emily Wagner, First Year Experience Associate Director, and our program has been running for quite a few years here at CU Denver, and we are so excited to be welcoming students back to campus this year. We've had a ton of programs so far. We host an event called Wake Up Wednesday for our students, where you can come to our office, get some coffee, meet our staff, talk with some of our faculty and peer advocate leaders. Our peer advocate leaders are also putting on a ton of different events, from Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch to some study sessions and some workshops around study skills and time management. So we have a lot of different varieties of programs available through our office in those areas. We also do bring your own snack and gossip every Wednesday afternoon until about 7 p.m. So if you want to just come and chat about your favorite TV show or something exciting that's happened, or you just want to gossip about the Real Housewives, we're there for you. So we have a bunch of those events going on, mostly in person, but we do have some remote options for folks who may still want to Zoom in and join us remotely as well. And then, like Christy said, our office is in the new Learning Commons building, which is attached to the City Heights Residence Hall on campus. We are on the second floor that houses not only the FYE office, but the Peer Advocate Leader office, New Student Orientation, our Family Events office, and also we have our business coordinator up there too, and our Lynx Summer Academy folks as well. So a lot of different people housed on that second floor. And then on the first floor on that same building, we have the Writing Center, and we also have the Learning Resource Center too. So if you just need some general help, maybe the class load is a little too much for you, it's week 3, we totally get it. Definitely stop in and come say hi and get some assistance there. We'd love to see you at our programs, and we'd also love to see you at our FYE events in our office too. Even if you aren't taking an FYE class, if it's your first semester at CU Denver, come by, join us. We post all the time on our social media channels and would love to see you show up and get connected.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Emily. So with that said, right, we've just talked a lot about things happening for first year students. Well, you know, we all recognize that this past year was pretty non-traditional. So even our second year students, so our students who started as first years or transfer students this last cycle, you know, what are some things that we're offering for those students to kind of take advantage of a second year experience? And then one other thing, and you mentioned this, so I want you to kind of expand on it. You mentioned on Wednesday nights, that program that's running till 7. Can you also talk a little bit about the Lynx late nights that are happening on Wednesdays?
Yeah, absolutely. So for our students who it was their first year last year, we totally get that it probably wasn't what you were hoping for. And so now that we're back in person, we have put on some different events specifically for our second year experience folks. We have special Wake Up Wednesdays through the FYE office that we're doing. We also have 4 sophomore interest groups that we are running this semester. One is hosted by Dr. Lindsay Hamilton. It's all about K-pop. It's super popular. Myself and Kelsey Miles, our PAL coordinator, run one that's actually going on this afternoon from 4 to 5:30 on the second floor of the Learning Commons, and it's Animal Crossing. So if you play Animal Crossing, come on down. If you don't play Animal Crossing, but you want to just talk about it, come on by. We can teach you how to play. And then we also have one on improv and how you can use improv skills, not only, you know, in acting, but in your daily life, getting connected to people. And then we also have one called Make Way for the Artist, which is centered around a book by that title that one of our other folks that runs our Milo Scholars program, Dr. Angie Van Dyke, she runs that, and it's a really excellent sophomore interest group. So if you're interested in joining one of those, it's not too late. You can find all of the meeting information and how to join on my links, where you see all of the student organizations here at CU Denver. So check those out. We also are running some sophomore second year academic success series, or SAS workshops. And so these are really great academic focused workshops that can just help you out if your first year was a little bit rough and you're just trying to get back on track. Maybe you want to connect with folks in the Learning Resource Center a bit more too, and just learn some helpful skills and strategies. You can also join those as well. And those were all sent out in our second year experience calendar, which you should have received a little while ago to your CU Denver email. So definitely check those out. And then Christy also mentioned we have some late nights Wednesdays. So not only is the FYE office area open till 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, but we also have folks in a bunch of our other offices, including our Center for Undergraduate Exploration and Advising, and a few other folks across campus who are going to have their doors open till 7 p.m. So if you are interested in, again, getting some additional assistance, maybe you can't come during normal office hours, maybe your classes are really packed, or you have a job off campus, again, swing by. We're going to be around, and we want to make sure that you're getting support and also that you're connecting with us. Even if you just want to swing by and say hi before you go off to dinner, we would love to see you there as well.
Thank you so much, Emily. My household right now is enjoying Butter by BTS. That's what I get for having a 10-year-old daughter. She wanted to listen to that song, so now it's on a rotation. All right.
I've
So
learned so much about you people. I love it. You're so interesting.
continuing with the theme of student engagement, we're going to look to Jamie Ingrasano. She's one of our awesome assistant directors in student life. So Jamie, can you share with us what Student Life is doing this semester? And what are some of the great opportunities for students to connect with their peers and other student organizations?
Yeah, great. Well, hopefully we've seen a lot of you at Convocation or Block Party or the Welcome Bash at the Wellness Center. Those were some of the big events that we as a campus community have had this past few weeks. And we have a lot of great stuff scheduled for the rest of the semester and into next semester that we want you to know about. So I'm going to highlight a few things that I want to talk, that I'll share a little bit more about getting involved in general. So first of all, we have great stuff happening next week. Fall Fest is both Wednesday and Thursday. It is a huge outdoor party, kind of out by the Tivoli in the Plaza building, where you can meet clubs and organizations. There's going to be great food trucks, music, and just like a good time to meet people, find some things that you might want to get more involved with this upcoming year. So that's from 10 to 2 this coming Wednesday and Thursday. So hopefully we'll see you there. And then I want to point your attention to a Rockies night that is happening. There's special price tickets for CU Denver students. They're $10. And we want to really pack the stadium full of CU Denver people. So check out CU Denver events for more information. And if somebody can maybe put some links to the social media channels for CU Denver events so they can learn more about Rockies night, that'd be great. That is going to be happening on September 23rd. So if you have some friends and you've never been to a Rockies game, or it's been over a year since you've been to a Rockies game, this is a perfect opportunity to go do that. Some nice, crisp Colorado weather, and it should be a great time. Additionally, student government's going to be having an event on October 6th that I think that people are going to have a lot of fun with, and that's going to be a virtual event. It's a game show based on trivia, and you can win actual like cash prizes via Amazon gift cards. So it's going to be more in the evening. That's October 6th. You want to follow student government for a little bit more information about that. But there's a ton of things happening. There's movie nights, there's open mic nights, there's hot topic forums. We have over 100 clubs on campus that are active and looking for new members. So if you're looking for clubs to join, both Fall Fest is a great opportunity, or check out MyLynx online. MyLynx is our platform for you to find all sorts of club information, upcoming events, whether you're in the clubs or not, and really hear about great opportunities for students. We also have leadership workshops. So if you've ever thought like, I want to get a little bit more skill or experience on a particular area, conflict resolution or designing your perfect, making a vision board, we have those happening every Wednesday. Some of them will be in person and some will be online. So there's a great mix for you, whatever your schedule looks like. Excuse me. But so really the biggest thing is we want you to find your place on campus. We want to find where you fit and the people that are going to help make your campus and your college experience more fun. So if you check out MyLynx, you're going to find all those clubs and organizations. Also, we have meetup groups. So Emily was sharing a little bit about our second year meetup groups. I'm so sorry for this tickle in my throat. Hang on. I guess I don't talk this much in normal days. All right. So we have meetup groups, and those are a great opportunity for folks to find other fun people. I'm sorry.
No worries, Jamie. You're doing great.
Okay, I need to pause for a second. Chris,
Well,
can
if
you
you
share
don't,
more about the meetup groups?
Yeah, I'm happy to share a little. Yeah. So, and Sam, feel free to chime in too. So yeah, so as Jamie was saying, so Emily was referencing our second year interest groups, which we call SIGs. What Jamie is talking about is our student life team. They run meetup groups for all students. So it doesn't matter if you're a first year student, if you're graduating in December, there's a lot of cool meetup groups happening this semester. They're all student led. And so if you go into My Links, you can search those meetup groups and you can join more than one. They might be around art, they might be around coffee, they might be around travel. Also, if you have an idea for a meetup group, you can also connect with Jamie and folks on her team as well, and start your own meetup group to get other students involved. And so those are just fun, informal sessions. Sam, did you want to add to that too?
Actually, I was going to call on Chris Hilton to see if he had any insight on meetup groups, especially from a student standpoint. Chris?
Yeah, definitely. So I have not participated in one yet this year, downside to week 3. But last year we had a group called Friends that I participated in probably about twice a month. It was modeled literally after the TV show Friends, but it was just us getting together for about an hour, hour and a half and playing like trivia games or different Zoom games. It was one of those nice little things that I would do like on a Thursday to just debrief myself, meet some people from different schools, which is actually really nice. I met so many people from like our School of Arts and Media from that group that I probably wouldn't have actually met on campus since we stay siloed into our class schedules so much. But I definitely recommend it because it was just a nice way to be like, oh, casual, we're just playing a trivia game or something, and then end up making a friend, or at least somebody you'll run into on campus and say hi to.
Awesome. Thank you for adding that in, Chris. That's fun. I wish I had known about that. I might have crashed that Friends related group. That's cool. Okay, so we are almost at 3:30, so we're going to go ahead and open that Q&A. So if you have some questions that you want folks to respond to, feel free to post there. We are going to keep going. We do have some more questions that we are going to ask our panels to respond to, but feel free to go ahead and post in the Q&A. So Gregory, next up, we've had some questions from some folks wondering about cleaning and ventilation procedures on campus to promote a safe environment. So could you talk a little bit about what that looks like and share with us some relevant information?
I absolutely can, but my gracious, I have to follow all the fun stuff? That's not fair. That wasn't happening when I was a student. I'm here to tell you, okay? Well, anyway, being somewhat new to the city of Denver and the Lynx community, it's kind of exciting to see a robust campus with everybody wondering about again. Accordingly, though, I feel it's important that, both the faculty, staff, and students and the university community, they feel good and they feel safe and secure about what's going on within their university facilities. So let's talk about some of that. Please know that you have a seriously dedicated facilities management team. Anything that we do is guided by the CDC, by the EPA, and ASHRAE. Just so you know, ASHRAE is a fancy industry standard that stands for the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers. But they're an important standard because they call the ball on a lot of energy and air conditioning metrics. So you understand what we're doing. We're following ASHRAE standard 62-1.2019. That's the last of the heavy stuff I'm going to give you. Let me tell you about the stuff that we're doing that's fun. Our facilities management team has done the exercise of providing the appropriate ventilation in excess of the standard to allow the air handling systems to operate at their optimum capability. This means that we're also able to perform routine preventive maintenance, audits of the building equipment to verify that the air handling units are operating appropriately, that we're managing the outside control dampers. We're regularly monitoring our building automation system software to see if there's anything going wrong or it's something that we need to respond to. One of the big changes that we've done was that we've increased the amount of filtration in those air handlers. There's something called a MERV rating. MERV means minimum efficiency reporting value, okay? Before COVID, this was a MERV rating of 8. Now we are at least at a MERV rating of 13 in all facilities with 14 in some facilities. So because of the very high filtration efficiency, MERV filters have been shown in multiple studies to be highly effective at removing particle sizes that might carry viruses. And just so you also know, a MERV rating of 13 to 16 is considered to provide hospital level air quality. So we have those in all of our CU Denver facilities. So some of the additional steps that we've done to make sure that the campus community is safe, beginning last summer before the fall semester, again before the spring semester, and yet again before this fall semester, our facilities maintenance staff, which is filled with dedicating, caring, professional, and super knowledgeable people. They've gone through every single building and every single air handler to ensure that we've done everything is working to the best of its original equipment manufacturer's performance. We will do this again in the next cycle between December and January. This is just what we're going to do for the ongoing cycle of COVID. And so that kind of gives you the high level version of what we're doing on the mechanical systems and air conditioning side. I just want to touch base really quickly on the custodial side. So there's a lot of questions about what's happening, who's cleaning the buildings, where do we get supplies, that type of thing. I'm going to ask to post in the chat the Lynx Connect health safety measures building cleaning protocols for people to access and read at their leisure. But to give you the higher order information, for common areas, we will do general wipe downs, spill cleanup, and vacuuming. What's a common area? A common area is generally entrances and exits, restrooms, circulation areas. Circulation area could be an elevator, a stairwell, or corridor. Common areas such as lounges and seating areas. And we're going to be fogging the common areas on a weekly basis in an after hours capacity. We're also going to be doing the general wipe down, spill cleanup, and vacuuming for high touch point areas. High touch points are things like push plates, door handles, and hard surface finishings. For classrooms, computer labs, and instructional labs, we can get a lot of requests for what happens here. The cleaning responsibility for the classrooms and computer labs and instructional labs is the responsibility of the individual users and occupants. I'm also going to ask to put in the chat the contact information for our DC facilities dispatch. So if there's some cleaning supplies that are missing or needed, we will take care of that. We will get those out to you. We also have a dispatch phone number for I need it now. Okay, that is 303-315-7777. That's like a taxi cab. And our capable and friendly dispatch staff will take care of you. Also for, you should know that we also did a very, very focused cleaning exercise through all of our CU Denver facilities that we began in early June and we completed in early July in anticipation of the return of faculty and students. So that's what I would tell you from the higher order things. Happy to answer any questions. Back to you, Sam.
Gregory, thank you so much to you and your team for doing such a selfless job. You know, we just come to campus and we expect things to happen, but we know for a fact they just don't happen without so much, such a dedicated team to just focus on those minute details that really do add to the safety and the experience for our students, staff, and faculty. So thank you. We're going to put,
what's one thing?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
The thank you goes to my staff. These people work long hours and they do it without saying a word. I just can't say enough about their dedication to the university community. So it's not me, it's the people that I support.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're going to put Chris Hilton back on the hot spot. And so Chris is not just our student body president, but he's also one of our awesome students here on campus. And so, Chris, we'd like to hear your perspective as a student and as a student leader. And so can you talk to us about your own experience being back on campus this fall? And then what tips do you have for students that you would like to share for them to have a successful semester?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of my experience as a student, it's been amazing and slightly overwhelming. I was a transfer student back into university last year. So I spent all year taking classes in my bedroom like everybody else. And one of my first classes is a bio lecture. So I walk into a room with 155 people. And after the last year, that was slightly alarming. I then found out talking to the professor and the TAs that they offered in a hybrid format. So where on days where that was too overwhelming, I could log into the Zoom and get the same lecture experience. So that was actually really comforting and something I take advantage of on days when it's a little too intense. In terms of just like overall, it's been amazing to be on campus and to be meeting people in person that I've been talking to for the last, 13 months. And I've really enjoyed that. It's, you've got all of our student orgs, I'm in student government. And so it's been great to have those friends. And one of the things that I had a faculty member tell me recently as we're on campus and we're trying to do so much was to unburden myself. And I didn't really understand what that meant until I was like looking at my class load and I was taking too much. And I realized being back on campus and taking on, student government and trying to do all these events, that there was just too much on my plate. And I ended up withdrawing from a French class that I was really excited for, but I just didn't have the capacity to excel in. And while that was like an ego burden to like drop that class, it really did help me be like, okay, I can now focus, I can be a student, I can give my all to everything else. And I think that's something that everybody needs to remember right now as a student, is like, there's a lot going on. We had a really interesting year and we should really focus on ourselves and unburden ourselves. I saw in the chat that somebody had asked about mental health resources, and something that I'm personally taking advantage of is the Counseling Center does offer weekly workshops that you can just drop in or book ahead. And those range from like, how to get the most out of your interpersonal relationships to being like overwhelmed in situations and how to cope through that. But also, as part of our student fees, we do get counseling appointments, and take advantage of those. I do them, so many inside student government do them, and it helps us. And it's something I would really want anybody who's a student to think about. You're already paying our tuition and our student fees, like get the most out of it. Yeah, that's the big things. I know that one of the other things is we have remote classes and we have in-person classes. And there's a lot of spaces on campus that you can actually go to and take those in a private or semi-private type of format. Really, in any of our buildings, there's plenty of little alcoves that you can go to that have almost no sound for some reason. It's just not that busy in that area. And you can take a remote class and be able to participate. I was doing it with my French class because that was remote. So I would recommend heavily anything inside the Student Commons building, especially on the second floor. Tivoli has a few spaces, but it can be a little bit louder in there. If you're north of Spear, anywhere inside the Lawrence Street Center is so quiet. It's wonderful. So definitely pro tip on that. And then on the second floor of the Wellness Center, there's these little like pods that you can sit in and like turn to face Tivoli Quad. And while that's slightly distracting, definitely another one of my pro tips in terms of like taking a biology lecture remotely. It's very calm.
Chris, I got a follow-up question for you concerning space.
Talk to us about opportunities for commuter meal plans, even faculty and staff meal plans, so that we know what's available and where to get that food at.
Yeah, thank you, Christy. So yeah, we're all really excited here in the Office of Housing and Dining to offer a brand new dining hall in City Heights Residence Hall, our new residence hall on campus. It's located really conveniently just right in the heart of the CU Denver neighborhood. Again, it's attached to that Learning Commons, our newest Learning Commons building, and it's right across the street from the Student Wellness Center, as well as our Student Commons building as well. So in the first floor of City Heights is our new dining hall. It is a full service traditional buffet style dining hall. That's all you can eat. Students at CU Denver are able to purchase commuter meal plans, as Christy mentioned, that would enable them to access the City Heights dining hall during meal times and eat in the dining hall as well. So we don't just have the City Heights dining hall, we also have our Eat Market at Lynx Crossing, which is more of a grab and go option for students. Our Lynx Crossing Residence Hall is located on the west end of our campus near the I-25 overpass. So if you're on your way to the new Meow Wolf installation and visiting that when it opens and you'd like to grab a bite to eat before you head over there, and you have a meal plan, you can always stop in at the Eat Market at Lynx Crossing and grab something there too. We accept meal swipes and flex cash at the Eat Market as well. So all of our dining options do include a set number of meal swipes as well as flex cash options for our students. As a commuter student, you can buy a set or block of meals, as well as a number of meal plan flex dollars to go with that meal plan as well. Faculty and staff also have the option to buy meal plans. There are a few different ones available. All of these can be found on the Housing and Dining website under our meal plans tab. If you navigate there, you're able to purchase one of these meal plans online. And then the day that you purchase it, your meal plan will be activated. And then you just need to present your CU Denver ID card at the entrance to either of our dining locations to have that meal plan activated. So we welcome you to come in. It's a great space at both of our residence halls for folks to congregate and enjoy some time together. And so just really, really excited to be able to offer that to our community this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. Chris, you also had alluded to talking about, you in your biology class and having some conversations with the faculty member and the TA. And then you even mentioned too, like thinking about like in the past, like, should you drop a class? What should you do? And so I'm going to ask Regina Rodriguez, who is one of our success advisors, to kind of respond to, I'm sure Chris isn't alone in having those thoughts. And so Regina, if you could kind of share what you do, but also remind students of the academic resources that they have at their fingertips, and that the folks who are here to support them if they're having those thoughts, or if they have academic coursework specific questions.
Yes, of course. So I'm a success advisor in the Center for Undergraduate Exploration and Advising. And we do field a lot of these questions around this time, the first exam. Most students have taken that first exam and they're starting to feel a little unsure, or that they need additional support. So I always encourage students to connect with their instructor with specific questions that they might have. Sometimes the TA is helpful. We also have a huge, the Learning Commons is going to be the main hub for support for students, in that we have the Learning Resources Center. We also have the Math Education Resource Center, and they're all located on the first floor of the Learning Commons. The types of support run from workshops to address a specific concern that a student might have, or guidance. I believe they have academic guides who help or organize and provide guided study groups, so that there's maybe more than one student who are have similar questions about a specific course. Some of those are they have some drop-ins too, so that might be more convenient for students. But we also have, it might be, that conversation might involve connecting with different resources on campus, whether it's in the counseling center, or maybe connecting with the FYE group and student engagement as well. Jamie reminded me that we have involvement ambassadors, so other students who can really help students connect to the opportunities to get involved on campus. I guess we also speak to, if students do want to drop a class, we also discuss some best practices around that, connecting with financial aid and scholarships, and then connecting with us to determine how it might affect degree progress.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Regina. I appreciate that. Chris, I'm going to kick it back to you one last time. You also referenced, when you were giving tips about places to study, you did reference the Wellness Center. Could you also talk a little bit more in depth about our amazing Wellness Center and the different activities and types of engagement that students can do there, as well as the quiet places to study?
Yeah, definitely. So again, transfer student, hadn't really been to campus. I had not actually been inside our Wellness Center until the Wellness Bash a week ago. And I've already gone twice since then to go work out. And Wellness Center is this magnificent building. It's giant, it's pretty, it's got all the stuff that you could ever need. We've got a rock climbing wall and a bouldering wall, which is really awesome and unique, to be honest. We've got a huge fitness center in terms of weights and cardio. And then we've also got a pool and jacuzzi system that are available through the lockers. Those are all great for physical wellness, but the goal of the Wellness Center was to focus on all aspects of wellness. So if you go up to the third floor, you've also got resources like our food pantry, which is available to all CU students. You have 10 swipes per month towards that, and we can get you some good quality food staples to you, just part of your student fees again, so take advantage of it. We've got financial wellness coaching up there. They connect to mental health wellness centers also. There's also a nap room, which I think is really cool. You need quiet spaces, you need a nap midday. We've got that handled in a wellness center. But yeah, I recommend anybody go there. They have this kitchen cafeteria type area on the first floor, and you walk in and it definitely has this energy where you're like, oh, I'm on a college campus. I can go talk to somebody. I can sit down and make friends. So I heavily recommend it.
Thank you, Chris Hilton. We have a question in the chat. This is for the other Chris, Mr. Chris Puckett. Chris, can you tell us if there's going to be stricter vaccine requirements to come this semester?
That's a really great question. And I really appreciate the other one about the countermeasures vaccine fund question. Those are fascinating topics. And if you want to contact me directly about those, I'm happy to talk to you about them. As far as where we are at the moment, is it possible that we could have stricter vaccine requirements? It is, yes. You know, part of what we're sitting here now doing, I know the president right now is issuing some guidance under OSHA for employers. I got an email today regarding Phil Weiser, who's the Colorado Attorney General, asking about our exemptions. So I would just say that there are lots of possibilities for us to go towards a space where we don't have any exemptions, but I would say at this point today, no, we aren't planning that. But is it always possible? The answer would be yes. If things get worse, if we see spread, if the state sees spread, if there are concerns, then absolutely. That is something that we've talked about, and you know, I know lots of people are. So you want my gut on it? I don't know that we're going to end up there right now because we're in such a great space with our vaccination rates as it is and our testing, but it is definitely a possibility.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. It looks like our Q&A is we've got folks responding, so that's great. I do want to remind everyone, if you leave here today, you leave the student town hall and then you think of a question later, we encourage you to go to our ucdenver.edu /coronavirus. There are a lot of FAQs on that site, that a lot of helpful information to make sure you're getting your questions answered. I'm going to ask some folks too, Emily and Jamie, Chris Hilton, if you can plug some emails into the chat as well as reminders for folks to follow up if they want to connect on engagement, if they want tips, if they want study help. If you don't mind posting those as well. And if we don't have any other questions, I think that might be it for today. We are so grateful that you came and joined us and that you are engaged in this process. We're excited that we are back on campus, and we are thankful to Gregory and his team for making sure that we're able to do that in a clean and safe environment. I want to echo Chris Hilton's comments on, you know, it's so great to be on campus and see students and faculty and staff in person. The new residence hall right there in the center of campus and the Learning Commons building. It's been really wonderful to be able to connect and engage with folks and continue to connecting. And also, again, we're able to serve folks in virtual spaces too, if that's a need. So Sam, did you have any other things you wanted to say before we signed off for the day?
No, we covered a lot of ground today. I just want to also thank our panelists that showed up today to give their information and express their thoughts and care for the community. For the students that are still on the call, we all want you to know that you are not in this alone. And so I know we're doing this presentation virtually, but we are real life people, and the majority of us are on campus. And so if you're also seeking that in-person interaction, most of us are available and accessible to you. And so please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need anything.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for that. Well, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.